Hey, fitting. It is the 4th of July week, so that's really exciting. I know some of you guys have vacations coming up. Some of you guys have some really exciting stuff that you're going to be doing on the weekend. Some of you guys have Wednesday off as well, so that's very, very exciting. But I wanted to get on today, this morning, to talk about identifying your why. So we're all here to get fit, to feel healthy, to feel good about ourselves. But what is it when we ask ourselves, what's your why? I mean, your why today, maybe today's the first day that you said, you know what, today's the day that I'm going to work out and I'm going to take my health back and I'm just going to get healthy again. So your why might be, well, I want to get healthy. Or your why might be, well, I want to lose weight. Well, that's a good why starting out because that's usually what our whys are when we start. But what happens when life gets in the way? Because it's going to happen. You're going to have a day at work that might have been the worst day of your life. Your kids might be driving you crazy, and you might say, you know what, I don't feel like working out. So, what's going to be your why to get you through the tough times when you just feel like, you know what, I can't do this today? Because can't is not going to be a word in our vocabulary, that's for sure. So, what I want you guys to do this week is get a pen and paper. Let's go old school and just start jotting down all the reasons why you want to lose weight. Perhaps you have a family history of, heart disease and you don't want to end up maybe how your parents did. Maybe you just went to your doctor and you got your numbers and maybe your cholesterol was really high. Maybe you have a wedding coming up. Maybe it's just, you want to see your daughter graduate. You want to live to see that happen. So I want you to kind of take some time and write down all the reasons why you want to lose weight. It doesn't matter if it's 5 or 500. Then I want you to sleep on it. Yep, I want you to get a good night's sleep. And the next day, I want you to really go through that list. And I want you to go through each thing that you wrote and see if you feel something about it. See if you feel something in your gut. See if something pulls at your heart. And I want you to choose the top 3. So go through that whole list. Again, it doesn't matter if you wrote 5 or 500. I mean, you're going to have a lot more to go through if you got 500 things down there. But I want you to go through each thing and I want you to say it out loud. I really want you to repeat it. So let's say it's, want to lose weight for my wedding. I want to lose weight for my wedding. And just keep saying it and see how that makes you feel. Or maybe it's just like, I want my numbers to be better when I go to the doctor. I want my numbers to be better when I go to the doctor. And I want you to keep doing that. The 3 that really stand out to you, the 3 that really invoke that physical response in you, I want you to write those down. Those are going to be your whys. Those are going to be pretty much your 3 friends, your 3 buddies that are going to be with you on this journey. And what they're going to do is on those days when it gets so tough, when you're sitting there and you're like, you know what, I had the worst day at work. Kids are driving me crazy. My in laws are driving me crazy. Whatever it is, that's going to make you say, you know what? I don't want to work out today. I want that piece of chocolate cake. I want you to take a look at those whys. And those whys are going to help get you through it, okay? And what you're going to do is you are going to make sure that those whys are very close to you at all times. So, for example, if you work out at home, I really want you to get a nice big poster board and I want you to write in big letters those 3 whys. Those 3 whys that are most important to you that are going to help you through this journey. If one of those whys are, you want to live to see your daughter graduate, put a beautiful picture of your daughter on that poster. And what I want you to do is, if, like I said, if you work from home, I want you to hang that poster up in your home gym. So when you walk in there, you're going to see that every day. And that's going to be your driving force to go get through your workouts, to not give in to temptation on those days where your life is just not going well. Because it's easy to do these things when life is going great, right? When your life is going great and you're motivated and you're like, I'm going to go work out, I'm going to lose weight, this is going to happen. You're on this high and yeah, you're going to do really well. But, there's going to be that day. I'm telling you, there's going to be that day. There might be 2 days where life's just going to try to knock you out. And I don't want you to get knocked out. I want you to get back in that ring and I want you to put your dukes up and I want you to fight back at life, And it's okay. There's times where we fall down. And I think about my journey when I started, I was 224 pounds. And I think from then to now, there's a lot of times that I fell down. There's a lot of times where I failed And there's times where I gain some of the weight back. So I was going on this really great journey, and then, oh, something happened and I'd fall back. And then I'd go back on the journey, and something happened and I'd fall back. The most important thing is to never give up. Things are going to happen in life. There's going to be roadblocks. There's going to be things that set you back on your journey. That's okay. What's not okay is to let it define you and let it set you back forever. Because honestly, that's how I gained the 224 pounds in the first place, is that I let the setbacks keep me there. And I wasn't working out, and I'm an emotional eater, so some of you know what that's like. And I ate myself to 224 pounds, and let me tell you, I didn't feel good at all. My body, and I was getting very nervous because I do have diabetes in the family. And I just remember, my toes would feel really numb, and my hands would feel numb, and my circulation didn't feel right. And I remember going up a flight of stairs and I would get winded. I couldn't even get up those flight of stairs. And for me, that was a wake-up call, because I was so scared that I had something very bad going on in my body. My stomach felt really like, I felt like I was explaining it to people that I felt like I had poison in me. It was just, it was really awful. But if I didn't take that step, I think the hardest part is taking that first step and saying, okay, I'm ready. This is what I'm going to do. So you have to really say to yourself, I'm ready for this, and I'm going to do this. And then identify your why. What are the reasons that you want to do this? And, I had said in my previous video, don't do it because you want to look good for a boy. Because people should love you no matter who you are and what you look like, right? But do it because of those whys, those important things in your life that mean the most to you. And like I said, when you're reading those things that you wrote on the list, what's really pulling at you? Because there might be 500 reasons why you want to lose weight, but there's going to be 3 very specific, very strong reasons that's going to stand out to you, and that's going to be your why. And put that everywhere. I was thinking the other day, like when I went to the dentist, it's funny, not everybody loves going to the dentist. I actually love my dentist. So we always laugh about that, because she's always like, nobody loves going to the dentist. It's like, no, but you guys make it such a great experience. They got the music going. They make me laugh. But what I'm getting at is, when you're in that chair, which no one wants to be in, and they're kind of like reclining you back, a lot of times that they'll have like stuff on the ceiling, like nice photos, whether it's flowers or, the sun or something happy, just to make you kind of take your mind off of the fact that you're getting something drilled or getting something filled. That's what I want you to do with your whys. Have it everywhere. So like, if right now, if you're on your cell phone, have it the background of your cell phone. If you're on a computer, have it the background of your computer. If you go to the gym, if you don't have a home gym and you're going to the gym, put it on one of your devices. If you've got a set list or music that you listen to, put those whys on there so that you can see it. Heck, put it on the ceiling so when you wake up in the morning, you are staring at those whys so they can motivate you, right? Because the more we can see those things, the more tangible and real that they are. So this week, that's what I want you guys to do. Write down your whys. Like I said, it could be 5 to 500 things. Sleep on it. Let your mind kind of absorb that. And the next day, go through them and read them with conviction and pick out the 3 things that are going to be most important to you, and put those 3 things everywhere. Put it on the fridge. Okay? So when you have that temptation that you want to open that fridge and have something naughty, you will see it there right on the fridge. Actually, this brings up a funny story. This is true confessions now. So when I was younger, and just to tell you, my parents did not put this on there to make me feel bad about eating. It was just one of these things that they had on the fridge. We had a bunch of magnets on the fridge, but one of the magnets said, it was a cow, and it said, "Holy cow, are you eating again?" Ha ha ha, right? But it's funny. It almost made you think, like when you're going to the fridge, you'd see that cow and you're like, oh man, maybe I shouldn't go in there and have this. So if you have those whys right on your fridge, it's going to make you think twice before you go in there and grab something that's naughty. And we'll be talking about in another week, actually talk about cleaning house. You don't want to have those naughty things in the house, because that's just keeping temptation around. we're strong, but if the temptation is there, if you open your fridge and the chocolate cakes are in there, sometimes it's hard to say no to that. So there is another series that I'm going to do later on talking about how to properly clean house. But before that, you've got to identify those whys. Another thing I want to talk about, which I'm kind of throwing in there unexpectedly, but I was thinking about it this morning, so I definitely want to talk about it, is the scale, the dreaded scale. So we all know that on, social media and the television, there's always jokes about the scale and funny pictures and stuff like that. What I will say about the scale, obviously we know that the scale is a measurement, okay? The scale tells you how much you weigh. And, if it wasn't for the scale, I wouldn't have known that I was 224 and I wouldn't know what I weigh today. But what I'll say to you is don't let the scale define you. We run into this trouble where we rely so much on that number, and not just that number, it's what other people are telling us our numbers should be. So like I'm 5'5", and I should have looked this up before the call, but there's a range where they say a person who's 5'5" should weigh, and frankly that's too thin for me. I was there at one point in my life, and I'm just looking at myself, I'm like, I look really thin. And it just didn't fit my frame, my 5'5" frame, because I felt like my 5'5" frame was different than someone else's 5'5" frame. So don't be defined by the numbers. Don't let someone tell you like this is what you should weigh. I always say go by how your body feels. If you're feeling really good, because I think for me personally at 5'5", like my ideal weight is probably about 150, which again, I think is higher than that range that they give you for 5'5", but I feel perfectly fine at 150, and I don't feel like I need to be any less than that because everybody's body is different, and I carry 150 and I feel great and I feel energized and I feel healthy. So I would say go with that. Go with when you start feeling your best and you're fitting into those clothes again. Don't let the scale define you. If anything, I wouldn't weigh myself that way. Start off weighing yourself to see where you're beginning, okay? But don't weigh yourself every day. Don't even weigh yourself every week, because what's going to happen is you're going to be working out so hard and you're going to be so motivated and you're going to feel great, and then you're going to get on that scale, and if it doesn't say what you're thinking in your mind it should say, you're going to get very upset. And I remember it happening to me where I felt like giving up, and there's sometimes I did give up where I was working out, and the scale just was not moving, and I was so frustrated. You gotta start learning your body. And that's one thing that I'll help you with as well with coaching is I learned after a lot of trial and error that because I tend to do like high intensity type workouts. I love doing that kind of stuff. I love totally exhausting myself. That's just me. Everybody's different. But I noticed that my body tends to build the muscle before I start losing the weight. So knowing that now, when I start a new program, I just know, okay, the first couple of weeks, I'm probably not going to see a lot of difference. But then after that, it's like, boom, So I just know that about my body. Personally, everybody's different. Some people will see the opposite. Some people will lose so much at the beginning, and then all of a sudden kind of just taper off, right? So you have to reevaluate what you're doing. See, me, I know at the beginning, it's me building the muscle, and then it's going to start going down. But there's going to be a time where, I'm going to level off as well. It's kind of what we call plateauing. And you've got to change it up, so we'll talk about that too in future episodes, like how you can change it up, how you can confuse your muscles in your body. But again, don't be defined by the scale. I'd rather you be defined by your why. That's the most important thing. Why are you doing this? Be defined by that. Because we know, especially with women, our weights could fluctuate so much just during one day. So what I did in my journey, and again, everybody's different, and what I like to do is I get to know you better to see what works for you personally, because what works for me doesn't necessarily work for someone else. So I always get to know everyone to see what's going to work best for you, because that's what's important. Not to mimic what someone else is doing, because everybody's journey is unique. Everybody's journey is different. For me personally, what I did, I love going by the fit of my clothes, because a lot of times the scale wasn't moving, my clothes were fitting better. So obviously there's changes happening, but if I was just going by what the scale said, I would be upset, probably a couple of tears, probably throw my hands up and say, this is crazy. So I always encourage you, when you're starting a new program, take your measurements. Measurements. Like I said, you can do a starting weight. You can go and say, okay, this is where I'm starting at. But, put that scale aside for a while, put it away. Maybe bust it back out after you finish your program. Like if you're doing a month program, maybe at the end of the program, then get back on the scale and see how much you lost. But, if you're doing it every day, every week, you're going to drive yourself crazy. So take those measurements. Those measurements are so important, because a lot of times you're going to lose the inches before you're losing the weight. And what I did, I actually made a fun game out of it, is because jeans are always hard for me to buy. I don't know about you, but I can buy tops without even trying them on. I can just say, I like this top, I'm getting it, and buy. I can't do that with the jeans. The lower half of my body just is like, you know what, you've got to try the jeans on to make sure they fit first. It's just the way I'm shaped. So I can't just go pull a pair of jeans, because I noticed that depending upon the style, I'm different sizes. So I have to try them on. So what I did was I wanted to do something fun. And I won't say the store. I went to 2 stores where I knew that their jeans were cheaper than getting designer jeans, because again, I'm in the process of losing weight, so I'm not looking to spend a lot of money on a new wardrobe until I get to my, my goal weight. So I would go to, I went to 2 stores where I would buy jeans. And what I did was I actually bought the same style jean. It actually had the same design, the same pattern, but in different sizes. And I can't remember, because I don't think I did this when I first started, so I couldn't tell you what my jean size was when I was at 224, but I know one of the jean sizes I bought was a 16. So I had like a 16, a 14, a 12, an 8. And I just kind of held on to them. And I would wear the 16, and I would do my workout, and I would work really hard, and I would eat healthy. And, every once in a blue moon, I'd say, okay, I'm going to go see if I could wiggle into that 14. And maybe I would get it halfway up. Okay, well, I couldn't fit into it at all a few weeks ago. Now I can get it halfway up. Okay, we're making progress. And then I would continue. And then I'd go ahead and try that 14 again. And then, oh, wow, I can get this all the way up, but I can't zipper it up yet. You know the challenge. You know the zipper challenge. And then keep working out. And then I could zip it up. Then I can button it. And finally, I was in a size 14. So you would celebrate. Oh my goodness, I'm in a size 14. Then you would start working on your size 12. But again, all this time, I'm not stepping on that scale, right? So I'm losing the weight. And then when I felt that I was at a point where, okay, let me just see where I am weight-wise, I would get on the scale just to kind of, as a guide, just to say, okay, this is where I am today. All right, go ahead, put that scale away again, and continue with the jean challenge. Again, you don't have to do it that way, but I just found like it was a really fun way, like trying to get into those different sizes jeans. Before I knew it, I was in a size 8, and, I'm working my way down to like, smaller sizes, and, it was just a lot of fun. And I think the hardest part too is when you're done is actually giving those jeans away. I think it's hard, because in our mind, even though we know we're being successful and we're making changes, there's still that little voice in the back of your head that says, oh, what if I gain the weight back, right? That's that terrible voice that we just want to tell them, please stop. So there's this feeling that in the back of your mind, you're like, what if I gain the weight back? Well, I guess I should keep these big jeans just in case. Get rid of them. As soon as you're out of that size, you might have a friend or relative that's looking for some new jeans, or maybe wants to do this with challenge like you did, the jean challenge, right? So start them off. Say, hey, here's where I started, and if you want to try this with me, and it was a lot of fun, but get rid of them, because you don't want to have that excuse that, well, if I fail or I don't do so good, if I gain the weight back, well, at least the jeans will still be there. Get rid of them. They're done. They were part of your journey. They're part of your past. You're a new you. You're moving forward. Don't be afraid to get rid of the jeans. So those are the two things that I really wanted to go over today: identifying your why, and also to not rely on that scale. I just don't want to see people getting frustrated when they're working so hard, because your body is changing and it takes time. These are not changes that are going to happen overnight. I mean, losing all that weight for me certainly didn't happen overnight. And like I said, with my journey, there were times where I fell backwards, where, I let stress get in the way. I didn't really have my identified whys at the time, so there was nothing for me to look and say, okay, this is going to keep me going. I wasn't doing that when I first started my journey, so there was a lot of setbacks. There was times where I had gained some of the weight back, and that was depressing. That was like, wow, I worked so hard and now I'm gaining it back, and what do I do? And so focus on those whys. Let those whys be what gets you through the tough times, because there's going to be tough times, because that's life, right? Life happens. There's going to be times where you're going to fall. But I always say, don't concentrate on that. Focus on getting back up, right? Getting back in the ring. Punching that stress in the face, right? Don't let everything else around you sabotage your goals, your whys, what you want, why you want to lose the weight. Don't let anything get in the way, okay? And I know that's not easy, and that's why we're here. That's why the coaches are here, because we've been there. We've done it. We've fallen, and we've gotten back up, and we've been successful, and we've learned amazing techniques around along the way that we want to share with you and the community. So I hope that you guys have an awesome 4th of July. I hope you guys have a great weekend. We are so excited for you. If you are just starting out on your journey, congratulations. If you are midway in your journey, I just want to say congratulations on how far you came. Don't give up. Keep pushing forward. Some of you might be at the point where you're at maintenance and you might be struggling with that. I was just talking to someone the other day that I feel, for me personally, the hardest part is maintenance, because when you get in that mindset and you're losing weight and yeah. And then you get to your goal weight and you're like, what's next? How do I maintain this? I think that's the hardest part. So if you're at that point where you're at maintenance and you're struggling, hang in there. That's what we're here for. We have some great tips for you. I am like this close to that part of my journey. So that is very exciting, and I can't wait to share that with you. So I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you soon. Coach Dez signing out.